Big Mouth or Trailblazer or the man hailing out of Hendrickson, man, Kevin Holland, number 14th ranked middleweight, who is a minus 150 favorite, kind of surprisingly, with the plus 125 comeback against little Daukaus, Kyle Daukaus, man, little bro sitting there in the middleweight division. Now, big brother Chris Daukaus, he's doing some things, man. He's lighting the UFC on fire right now. But little Daukaus, man, he's gonna have to come and little. I just say that just because he's a little brother, you know what I mean? He's a big man. Don't get me wrong. But listen, like I said, he's coming off of a loss. Kevin Holland's coming off of 2 losses, which you can't really knock him against, right? Marvin Vettori and Derek Brunson. He's number 14th, but he just lost to 2 top 5 fighters right there, so there's really nothing to hang your hat on. But for Kyle Daukaus, who's a wrestler, who's a submission guy, he just lost to another wrestler, but he was a power wrestler in Phil Hawes, man, Megatron right there. AJ, man, am I crazy to think that Kevin Holland should not be favored in this fight?
No, you're not crazy, especially because the way we've seen Kevin Holland lose, that's the best way Kyle Daukaus gets it done. And Kyle Daukaus got hands too.
Oh,
but
yeah.
the thing is, he's not really known for really either or. You know, he's very much so can do it all at any point. So he's not really a specialist. So I think that's why they're kind of favoring Kyle Daukaus on this one. Kevin Holland on this one. If Kyle Daukaus was a little bit more of a wrestling specialist, I think they'd have a little bit closer of a line. What do you think?
Well, I think that Kevin Holland, being the enigma that he is, being capable of doing crazy things like knocking out Jacare Souza, you feel me? Like putting it on when he got the neck slam on Charlie Ontiveros, right? Where dude just gave the verbal tap, or getting the win over the dentist, Darren Stewart. I think that those anomalies, those crazy parts of his fight, and then losing so definitively to Brunson and Vettori, I think there's still a little of that recency bias. And Daukaus isn't a big name. Kevin Holland kind of is, right? But don't get me wrong. I think Kevin Holland has a really good chance to win this fight, especially he's been working on that takedown defense with Johnny Hendricks over there with DC at AKA. But I think this is a trap game type matchup, AJ. And what I mean by that is I think Kyle Daukaus is being undercounted, underrated, discounted, the whole entire 9. And I think that he's probably, I'm pretty sure he was training with his big brother for Daukaus' last camp, big brother Daukaus' last camp. So you're dealing with the big boys, man, but you're not dealing with anyone long and rangy like a Kevin Holland. So if this fight stays on the feet, AJ, let's talk about it a little bit. Does Kevin Holland do the classic Kevin Holland and use the big right hand to smother his attack and get right into a takedown? Or will we see a more composed, distance management Kevin Holland? What do you think?
Yeah, I think we're going to see a very much composed Kevin Holland on this one. And, he's been working, like you said, I forgot the name he was calling, Hendrickson.
Hendrickson, yep.
Yeah, great. And Kevin Holland's the ultimate persona. You got to love this dude. But we'll see how well he's doing. He knows he's not going to want to be taken down. He was saying something. He's like, go ahead, shoot that blast double. Go ahead. Just don't shoot this other one. I'm not going to tell you that. Yeah. But, so there's definitely, he kind of feels like there's holes in his game. He's been working towards it. He's been trying to get it done, which is what you got to do, especially like he says, he's a company man. So he's down to fight whoever, whenever. But I think he's going to be a little bit more composed and just rushing and trying to get the big win and then end up getting taken down. That's how he doesn't want to get it done like he did in the last 2 fights. So I think we'll see a little bit more docile, maybe not docile is a good word, but composed Kevin Holland. What do you think?
Well, I'd agree with you, but I think that kind of takes away an element of his game, a big element of his game, actually, because part of what makes Kevin Holland so crazy is he's erratic, man. He does just wild shit, you know what I mean? Those crazy spinning kicks, those big leaping side kicks, right? He has this unorthodox rhythm that allows him to kind of like leap into a crazy right hand, hit you from across the fucking cage. You know what I mean? He's able to do just like these weird maneuvers. And if he's more relaxed and composed and just sitting back and just trying to be patient, trying to be like a point fighter, that just takes away a big element of his game that I think makes him so successful. So that's what's tough, right? Is he got fans saying, oh, we don't want Big Mouth, we want Trailblazer. But Big Mouth is partially why he wins the fight, because he's talking shit to you. He's smacking you in your face. Against Thiago Santos, when he got taken down, he literally just bitch slapped Santos, right? He's getting his face smashed in and shit from the bottom. But it's just like, who does that? He just sits back and just being like, yep. Just bitch slaps him. Just like, all right, what's up? You know what I'm saying? So I think the funness of Kevin Holland needs to be there in order for him to be successful. But let's talk about the threat of the submission for Kyle Daukaus. Let's say inevitably the fight hits the ground. Daukaus is searching for submissions. My question to you is, how come Marvin Vettori and Derek Brunson have been so successful in being able to knock both of their respective opponents out via ground and pound or submit somebody or do whatever? Why are they able to finish these other high caliber fighters, but they have not been able to finish Kevin Holland? He's never been knocked out. He's only been submitted twice. And in his last 5, his 2 losses have been via unanimous decision. So what do you think about that?
I think it's a mental thing for Kevin Holland. He's not gonna get finished. It's more so, yeah, sure, you can touch the button and turn it off, but I don't think Kevin Holland's gonna allow that to happen mentally. He's just gonna keep fighting through. Even if you do knock him out, you hit him with the next one, it's gonna wake him right back
Yeah.
up. I think it's more so he's just a dog, and it's hard to finish him more than the other guys can't get it done. Because
Yeah.
we've seen both Marvin Vettori and Derek Brunson get the finishes on people, more so Vettori than Brunson. But I think it's just a mental thing for Kevin Holland on this one. What do you
I
think?
gotcha. The Brunson slander continues as always with our guy AJ. But listen, man, I don't know, man. I think that the submission threat is going to be real from Kyle Daukaus. I think that this dude is slick, bro. He has a very active Brazilian jiu-jitsu guard, and the big thing about this is, let's say Kevin Holland gets a little overconfident and says, "Oh, I'm going to top control you. I'm going to get on top of you." Kyle Daukaus has slick BJJ transitions and sweeps, man. And I'll tell you, man, this is what I'm learning firsthand. You can have a smaller guy on you, a dude who's less powerful than you. If he gets his positioning, if he gets the hook on your leg, completely just sweep you over and get top control on you, man. There's like nothing, you're like flying in the air. Like, how the fuck did this happen? Like, I had incredible top control, man. I had the head and arm, I had everything. It just swept me over. So it'll be fun, a fun matchup for sure. Both of these dudes are 6'3", but there's a big discrepancy in terms of the reach, man. 81 inches for Kevin Holland, 76 for Kyle Daukaus, and I think that's going to play a big factor because on the feet, Kevin Holland, we know that right hand is a rocket ready to just explode, man. We know this for sure, for facts. You know what I'm saying? So let's say this fight stays on the ground. Kyle Daukaus got mean straight punches too. Who has the true edge in technical striking, AJ?
I'd probably say Kyle Daukaus on this one, man. He's a little bit more technical, at least initially. Kevin Holland, one of his biggest things, you said it before, what makes him best is that kind of unpredictability, that kind of swagger, that style that he has that doesn't really come down from the straight punches. Although the straight punches, that straight right hand is absolutely mean down the pipe. And it's hard to say though. This one's a lot closer than just a black and white. Kyle Daukaus has the advantage striking,
Oh yeah.
technique wise. It's very, very close. Who do you think?
You know what, man? I would say Kyle Daukaus is a little more technical, but Kevin Holland's stand-up is more dangerous. You remember when he licked his hand and then dropped Joaquin Buckley with the right hand, man? Like that type shit, right? Where he's literally, he just licks it, boom, done. You know, what are you going to do, right? I just think that the way he uses his leverage and the way he leans his body is something that Kyle Daukaus doesn't do. So Kevin Holland can hit Daukaus from places where Daukaus can't hit Kevin Holland. So that's going to be what really comes down to it. But let's say the fight gets to the ground. You can do amazing jiu-jitsu if you're not getting punched in the face, right? They say like a black belt, every time you punch a black belt in the face, they go brown belt, purple belt, blue belt, white belt, right? Like you start losing it because BJJ, man, you can go into a lot of positions where you're not getting hit, where in MMA, that's just not the case. We know Kevin Holland has one of the most active ground and pound, I guess, from the bottom. If I don't even know what you call it, but when he's on his back, he's smacking you, elbows, mean elbows. He's slapping you in your ears, you know what I mean, trying to get your eardrum to burst. He's doing all of those crazy little things that'll kind of discourage you from trying to do your jiu-jitsu in advance and instead just rely on top control, which is partially why I think that he hasn't been getting finished against these strong wrestlers. But he does only have a 47% takedown defense. So let's hope that Hendrick Stan, camp has been working out for him a little bit. And let's talk about notable wins just before we conclude, man. Kyle Daukaus, he's only 1-2 in the UFC, man. He's not very experienced at the big show. And his only big win is against Dustin Stoltzfus, who is a good wrestler, but we saw the stand-up is there's much to be desired there. Now, for Kevin Holland, he's got wins over Alicio Di Chirico, Joaquin Buckley, Alexander Hernandez, or Anthony Hernandez, excuse me. That's Fluffy. Remember the dude who submitted Rodolfo Vieira? Come on, dude. To be able to, I think he just hit him with a knee, dropped him, and just got him out of there, man. It was beautiful. Knocked out Jacare Souza, and then, got the split decision win against the dentist, Darren Stewart, which is not really as impressive anymore because I do think he got cut, to be honest with you, man, which is a sad day for the dentist, man. For me, personally, because it was one of my guys. I've been praising the dentist for quite some time. So, AJ, listen, Daukaus got Bravo chokes. He could hit you with rear nakeds, arm bars, everything, man. But let's just give it. Who's the pick, man? Who is the pick on this one, AJ? And then let's talk about the line after. Who's the pick for you?
You want to talk about a hard pick, Derek? I was going back and forth for the other fight, but man, this one is a very hard one to choose for me. I'm a huge fan of both these dudes. You already know if you're a fan of this episode or this podcast, man. I love the Daukaus fan, man, and Kevin Holland, same thing, man. I'm a huge Kevin Holland fan. I hope he brings that kind of swagger he has and that old school style of fighting. We're gonna see some ground game. Personally, though, I'm going Kyle Daukaus with the decision win. I don't think he's going to be able to finish Kevin Holland, and I don't think Kevin Holland's going to be able to finish Kyle Daukaus. He might. He has a better chance of it. But I'm going Kyle Daukaus by decision. I think this one's going to be a grinder of a fight, and we're going to see some up and down. We're going to see that ground game tested to Kevin Holland in the future, man.
I'm going Kevin Holland on this one, man. Believe it or not. All this that I've been talking, I've been praising Kyle Daukaus, telling you how dangerous he is. I'm picking Big Mouth on this one. Big Mouth / Trailblazer. And here's the reason why, man. I am not giving up on the talent that is Kevin Holland. I'm not, man. It's like people forget so quickly, man. This dude was a top 10 fighter just like a couple months ago, right? And now he's number 14. And now people are like, oh, this dude, he can't wrestle. He's just going to lose and all that stuff, man. It's not just wrestling that's the game. You got to, every round starts out on the feet. You always tell me that, right? So Kevin Holland has as good a chance as anybody else, especially if he cannot smother his attack. That's the big catalyst right there. I think Kevin Holland can be a true contender in this division, man. He just needed to take himself a little more seriously, you know what I mean? Be a little more professional in there. And once he does that, man, I mean, listen, there's let's not forget, I think was it against Vittorio Brunson where he threw a kick and he slipped on the mat and then he lost the round because he was controlled on the mat the whole time. That was just like one of those just like sloppy mistakes, you know what I mean, where it's like you can't be doing that stuff, right? So if he's a little more composed but still erratic in his fight style, I think Kevin Holland gets it done, and I think he gets it done via knockout, man, because Kyle Daukaus, even though he has never been knocked out, he has been hurt before, man. He's been put in some spots, and that length, I think it's just going to give him problems, man. So I'm going against the grain. I'm not going to lie to you. I probably wouldn't throw the minus 150 on Kevin Holland, man. I think the true value is plus 125 on Kyle Daukaus, and I don't even know what the prop is for a submission one for Daukaus, but go find that out and throw a little bit of money on that because that's the contrarian play, man. You know what I mean? All the hype is on Kevin Holland. The odds will probably get even closer towards the end of the fight or towards closer to the fight, but I'm going Kevin Holland on that one, and you cannot convince me otherwise. So that's my pick for the co-main, AJ.